sexual violence for all. In her role, Ms. Whitehurst engages the greater Houston community in efforts to support survivors and their families in a trauma-informed, culturally competent way. She holds a Master of Divinity and is an ordained Presbyterian minister. For the sake of her community, and especially her two daughters, she believes in a future free from domestic abuse and sexual assault and will work until it stops. Emily?
Thank you. Thank you for having me for today and for elevating the concerns of survivors as it relates to this piece of legislation. As many of you know, domestic, family, and intimate partner violence have spiked in the wake of COVID. Just to give you a snapshot of the hell survivors are enduring in the Houston area, we saw a 60% spike in domestic violence-related homicides year to year during the pandemic period, the height. Sheriff Gonzalez is here, and I know he'll speak more specifically, but according to statistics we've seen from his department, there's been a 50% increase in violence in a 4-month period. Protective orders in Houston have tripled during the height of the stay-at-home orders during the pandemic. And at our agency, on some days, calls to our hotline spiked by as much as 50%. In addition to that, the calls that were coming through were horrifying, levels of violence that was unprecedented. So what I want to know is why? Why is the legislature contemplating permitless carry at a time like this? Why now? We have bigger problems in our communities, as you just heard. I also want to add our grave concerns as an agency responsible for sheltering survivors at multiple sites throughout the city. Our shelter and in hotels, the thought that a perpetrator could have the luxury of carrying a firearm without a safety course and the background check that goes with it, it's chilling. I can tell you, we've had a few instances of abusers showing up at our hotels and at our shelter. And this past year, we tripled the number of women and children fleeing violence who stayed in our Safe Harbor Hotel program. So again, I want to know, why now? Violence is escalating, women and children are dying, our frontline advocates are exhausted and alarmed. There is absolutely nothing to be gained from reducing safeguards. And do not tell me that this approach is going to keep people safer, especially don't tell me this kind of legislation is for the sake of safety of survivors. Just last Friday, a 16-year-old teenage girl was shot in the face and died. Her 20-year-old boyfriend was charged with murder. Preventing such a tragedy should be the focus of the legislature. We need our attention and resources focused on teaching our young adults about healthy relationships, not carelessly allowing them to arm themselves without a permit so they can shoot their partners. Let me be clear. Under House Bill 1927, we expect more women to die. Full stop. Abusers will slip through the cracks. Absent training and background check, they will do damage. We cannot and will not let this happen. Thank you.
Thank you so